Ever lost money on a timber harvesting job?
Oh, yeah.
Happens.
Yeah.
Painful experience. But what if you could see the potential profit or loss
Right.
before you even started?
That would change things, wouldn't it?
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today on the FBS
Mhm.
podcast, a tool that can help you
Yeah.
analyze the financial viability of your harvesting operations.
Yeah.
We're talking about PATH,
Right.
planning and analysis in timber harvesting.
Mhm.
Remember, here at FBS, we're all about helping
Got.
mid-career forestry professionals like you
Yeah.
make informed, practical decisions to boost your business.
And Path is a perfect example of a resource that can do just that.
Okay.
It's a free Excel spreadsheet that uses something called throughput accounting,
Yeah.
which takes a system-focused approach to analyzing your whole operation.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit.
Yeah.
What exactly does system-focused mean?
Yeah.
And how does it differ from traditional cost models?
Well, traditional models often just focus on the costs of individual pieces of equipment, you know?
In isolation. But PATH takes a step back and looks at how all of your equipment, labor, and other expenses work together as a system.
Yeah.
It recognizes
Okay.
that the true cost of a harvesting operation isn't just about the individual parts, but how they interact and impact each other.
That makes sense. So instead of just looking at the cost per hour of running a skidder,
Right. Exactly.
Path considers how that skidder's performance impacts the efficiency of the entire harvesting operation, including
Yeah.
things like trucking and processing.
Precisely. And that's where the real insights come in.
Okay.
By understanding these relationships,
Yes.
you can start to optimize your whole system
Okay.
for maximum profitability.
So based on this Forest Business School overview of Path version 2.1 document, it seems like Path can do a whole lot more than just calculate equipment costs.
Absolutely. It's designed to be a comprehensive tool for analyzing
Yeah.
and projecting the financial performance of your harvesting operations. For example, it can calculate hourly rates for each piece of equipment you use, factoring in things like depreciation,
Right.
fuel, labor, and even the opportunity costs of your investment.
And it goes beyond just equipment costs.
Okay.
Path also helps you estimate trucking expenses, whether you own your trucks or hire them. It accounts for mileage, fuel prices, driver wages, and all those other little details can add up quickly.
Right. And it even guides you through analyzing your daily business overhead.
Exactly.
Things like insurance, wages for non-equipment operators, and shop maintenance. These are costs that are easy to overlook, but can significantly impact your bottom line.
Exactly. It's all about having a clear and complete picture of your financial landscape.
Now, what really intrigued me was this idea of creating detailed financial projections for specific timber harvesting jobs.
Yeah.
You mean I can actually see a potential profit or loss before I even start cutting trees?
That's the power of Path. It allows you to run different scenarios and see how various factors like production levels, fuel costs, or even the type of harvesting system you use could impact your profitability.
So I could compare the potential returns of using a cable skidding system versus a cut-to-length operation.
Yes.
All within PATH.
Precisely. It's like having a virtual testing ground for your business strategies.
Right.
You can adjust different variables and see how those changes would affect your bottom line in real time.
That sounds incredibly valuable. It takes so much of the guesswork out of planning and bidding on jobs.
And the best part is, Path allows you to compare your initial projections with the actual post-harvest results, so you can continuously learn and improve your operations.
It's a tool for making smarter decisions, both in the planning stages and in analyzing your past performance.
Right.
To make adjustments for the future.
It's all about data-driven decision-making.
Right.
Which is essential for success in today's competitive forestry industry.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in terms of what PATH can do.
Right.
But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about how it actually works.
Sure. One of the key things to understand about Path is how it handles depreciation. It utilizes a method called functional depreciation, which differs from the traditional book depreciation method that's mainly used for tax purposes. Functional depreciation focuses on the actual loss in value your equipment experiences as it's used, which is a more nihilistic way to assess its true cost over time.
So it's not just about how many years you've owned a piece of equipment,
Right.
but how much work it's actually done. A machine with a lot of hours on it will have depreciated more than a similar machine that's been used less,
Exactly.
even if they're the same age.
And Path calculates this depreciation on an accelerated schedule,
Okay,
recognizing that equipment tends to lose value more rapidly in its early years.
that makes intuitive sense. A brand new skidder, fresh off the lot, is going to be worth considerably less after a few thousand hours of operation.
Right.
So how does PATH actually factor this accelerated depreciation into its calculations?
It uses a specific formula to determine the hourly depreciation rate for each piece of equipment, taking into account its purchase price,
Right?
estimated useful life, and the rate at which it loses value over time.
So if I'm inputting data for my seller buncher,
Yeah.
I'll need to provide PATH with details about its initial cost,
Right.
how long I expect it to last,
Uh-huh.
and how quickly I anticipate it will depreciate in value. It sounds like accurate data input is crucial for getting meaningful results from PATH.
Absolutely. The more accurate your inputs, the more reliable your financial projections will be. And the PATH 2.1 user manual and spreadsheets document provides very clear instructions and examples to guide you through this process. It even includes sample data sets for different harvesting systems like cable skinning, cut to length, and whole tree, so you can see how the calculations work in practical scenarios.
That's helpful. It sounds like PATH is really trying to make this process as user-friendly as possible, even for those of us who aren't financial wizards.
Yeah. Exactly. The goal is to empower forestry professionals to make informed decisions based on solid financial analysis. And PATH provides the tools and guidance to do just that.
Now, you mentioned earlier that PATH can help analyze different harvesting systems.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a bit? How does it compare, say, a cable skidding operation to a cut-to-length system?
Sure. PATH allows you to input data for the specific equipment used in each system,
Okay.
including things like purchase price, operating costs, and production rates.
Right.
It then calculates the overall cost and potential profitability of each system based on your specific inputs.
So I could compare the costs and potential returns of using a cable skidder versus a harvester and forwarder, for example.
Precisely. And you can adjust various factors like fuel costs, labor rates, or even the terrain you're operating on to see how those changes would impact the relative performance of each system.
That's incredibly powerful. It takes the guesswork out of choosing the right equipment and system for a particular job.
It's all about making informed decisions based on data rather than relying on gut feelings or outdated assumptions.
This whole concept of throughput accounting really seems to be at the heart of what makes PATH so effective. By looking at the entire harvesting operation as a system, it provides a much more holistic and accurate picture of your financial performance.
Exactly. It's not just about individual pieces of equipment or isolated costs.
Right.
It's about understanding how all the elements of your operation interact and contribute to your overall profitability.
And PATH gives you the tools to analyze those interactions and make data-driven decisions to optimize your entire system.
Precisely. And remember, PATHAT is a free resource that's available to all forestry professionals. You can download it right now from www.loggingchance.com and start putting it to work in your business today.
That's fantastic. We'll make sure to include that link in the show notes as well. So to wrap things up, what would you say are the key takeaways for our listeners today?
First and foremost, I think it's crucial to understand that accurate financial analysis is essential for success in the forestry industry.
Yeah.
And PATH provides a powerful, user-friendly tool to help you achieve that.
It really seems like PATH can be a game changer
Yeah.
for forestry professionals who want to,
I think so.
yeah.
It takes the guesswork out of a lot of crucial business decisions.
Right.
And allows you to approach your operations with more confidence.
And the fact that it's freely available to anyone in the industry
Yeah,
is a testament to its commitment to helping forestry businesses thrive.
absolutely. It's a valuable resource
Right.
that can benefit everyone from seasoned veterans to those just starting out.
Well, I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today.
Yeah.
PATH seems like a truly powerful tool that can unlock new opportunities for efficiency, profitability, and growth in the forestry industry.
I agree. And I encourage everyone listening to download PATH from www.loggingchance.com and start exploring its potential for their own businesses.
Yeah, you might be surprised at what you discover. Thanks for joining us on the FBS podcast today. We hope this deep dive into PATH has been informative and helpful.
It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you.
And for our listeners, remember that knowledge is power, and PATH is a tool that can help you turn that knowledge into tangible results. So go out there, explore PATH, and start making smarter decisions for your forestry business.
Hey, this is Steve Bick with the Forest Business School. Thanks for listening to the FBS podcast, and I hope you will subscribe. The truth is, these deep dives barely scratch the surface of some of the topics we cover in the Forest Business School programs, and the podcast is a way of reaching a wider audience. Check out my website at vtfbs.com for more information. Reach out if you want to talk about one of the FBS programs or have custom training or project needs that you'd like to discuss. Again, thanks for listening to the FBS podcast.